Christian Rahul will lead them off into turn 1. Hubert in P2. They are going to have an almighty dash. This is the part where everyone's going to be closing their eyes. Or maybe there's some of the daredevils who will keep them open. Carnage may ensue. One driver's been taken, 2 is gone. They all try to go through. Some of them taking to the escape route. But for the most part, I see about maybe 4 cars going wide. But up in the front, it's Hubert who will take the lead in his first race of his championship CMRSC career. Into the next hard braking zone, the next chicane. Christian Rahul will chase down fast. Daniel Santos, Eamon Nasseir going through. Layla in her debut race also trying to make up some moves early on. Couple drivers going wide off circuit. More spins. A lot more other spins. One more driver. I think that was Oleg in the background. Back up the front, though. Rahul trailing down his teammate 3rd. Santos 4th. They have to just make it out turn 1 and lap 1 alive. They've made it turn 1. Majority of them. We thought there was going to be a lot more of a bigger crash. But now into Ascari. Santos to the inside. He takes 3rd. More action down the rear. And we watch slowly to see if they can make it out through Ascari alive. And oh no, a tag there. Claudio takes out Casper. Mike Nguyen also tagged wide. Side by side, Sean Mayer takes a great bite of that sausage curb into 1. Steinberg will hold on to the outside. Very tight between them, side by side action. Through 3, flat out. Sean Mayer is going to want to get that car as wide as possible. Holding on. And Steinberg, oh, he was right over there, Sean. It can't turn in that early, and his momentum's been sent backwards. Meanwhile, I think that was Juho that potentially cut through turn 1. Holding on there. Steinberg, though, still trying to get back. A great bit of pack racing. Tiago behind this fight. Evan Steinberg launches himself over the curb, and they still stay too wide as they head down the straight into Ascari. This could get very tight. 2 by 2 out here. Here we go. Steinberg outside. Can he hold on? No, one driver's been taken out wide. Tiago Ravaz. Now, if he can't get going, then it may be a yellow, so he has to watch the rejoin. And provided he can, it stays green. That's very tight. Oh, stay left, Tiago, please. And he does so. In fact, he'll stay in the grass. Safety car does call it out in our chat, but luckily, though, it's not going to bring out the yellow for all these drivers, but a scary moment there. Up at the front, though, Christian Rahul has found himself essentially alongside Hubert for P1. Rahul will take it to the inside of Ascari. Can he hold on? Oh, they face through each other. Hubert holds on to the lead. And he is lagging quite a bit. He is lagging a lot. And we're going to keep a close eye on it. Very close between each other. Rahul, however, will take it down the inside. A parabolica, door to door between the two. The battle for the lead of the Grand Prix. And Rahul will inch ahead to lead now. Hubert's going to tuck back in the slipstream. No, he doesn't. Now he does. They now enter 9th and 8th, respectively. Layla will try to take it down the inside. There's Keimani up the road. Sean gets the turn in early on, will stick ahead. Layla, though, has a fantastic run. A slide there from the German on the exit of 2. Very tight side-by-side racing, and Layla, can she pull off this move here? Get it held on the inside. Trying to get P8. Nothing can be done. Slide on exit. Very close between each other. Layla still side by side. in her home race, still trying to go for it. They phase between each other, and Sean Mayer has a Houdini moment and sent backwards, and Layla will say, you know what, that's one way to take a position. And meanwhile, back down to this fight here, battle for 5th. Close racing. Andy saying he's watching with his family, where you're going to get yourself a great bit of action here like this one. The German and the Italian, very close. Look at them go. And behind them, don't discredit Thomas. Right at the back. Big opportunity here. Fastest lap for Christian Romao, knowing that Santos is going to be hot on his heels. Maximilian down the inside. The German driver looking for that 5th place spot, and Eamon is just surrounded by Germans. The only Italian up here. Very close off. Do they take it 3 wide? Here at the Temple of Speed, it's very close between them. Thomas, he slipstreams, he follows P5. Max, does he take the dive down the inside? He doesn't. Eamon, a little bit wide out of 1, does not hit the apex to 2. Holds on for position, and once again, their positions reset as they are. Final 14 minutes left to go. We're basically 4 minutes away of having a all-you-can-eat, absolutely nothing, no safety cars at that point, because there just will not be enough time to round out the order. But as we watch that, our battle for 3rd gets underway. Hubert's been caught by Gabriel Costa. They go side by side. And through 1 and 2, Costa has the nose up ahead of Hubert. Through 3, flat out, Mackenzie Thompson. 10-second time penalty for cutting the circuit, but we look for this incredible fight here. First of the late breakers, Hubert swipes to the inside. It's way too deep. It's contact between them. Costa will advance and still hold on to 3rd position. And we're getting ourselves truly one of the most spectacular rounds of the championship. Who thought it would have been at Monza, and who thought it would have been the reason that was not incident prone? Costa will get 3rd, but for how long can he hold off? Your battle for 5th, that gap is about 3/10, but this is the closest one we have on circuit for the podium with just 12 minutes left to go. Down the inside, Hubert doesn't get this move. Costa will hold on. A spectacular run, and Hubert will take the lead back to 3rd. More trouble, P20, and it's Anna Adam who's found himself on the outskirts, and he might be retiring. Yes, he is. To the front, though, Hubert went for the dive at Parabolica. Gabriel Costa, however, still hunting, still looking. And this is the moment here. Big slipstream opportunity. And Gabrielle almost forced into the grass on the inside. Back for 3rd. Can Hubert hold on the inside line? Fair racing. Maybe a little tap, but still in the rulebook firmly. And Hubert is back through. It's looking Brazil in 2026 here at Monza. The Favula will be ecstatic if Romao can hold off to Parabolica. And yes, he can. Welcome to the winner's circle. Back, Christian Romao, the Brazilian, has done it. Santos will finish 2nd. Gabriel Costa, welcome to the podium. It's a nano shift Brazil double podium for them. What a ride. Next up, Thomas Kochler will finish next, followed by Maximilian Fleer, Keimani Nguyen. Then we have Daniel Stoyanko. Hubert, who was fighting so hard. Massive respect, may even deserve driver of the day. What a fight, what a race. But that is it for the Italian Grand Prix. It's one more race left to go. But that is your winner. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club, and it is time to conclude the 2026 Porsche Supercup. I'm your host here today, Rahul Nasseir, and we have ourselves a very exciting finale here at Albert Park for the Australian Grand Prix. And we're about to kick things off with qualifying. If you've joined us for the previous 4 rounds, well, the format has slightly shifted, and what will now be a 30-minute open qualifying session instead of the 8-minute solo session for this finale. So we're going to kick things off very, very soon. And in fact, the checkered flag is out, and we are now waiting officially for qualifying to begin. Now, because we're starting a bit early, we're going to have a handful of drivers joining in different times into the session. But nonetheless, though, you're going to get at least 20 drivers once we get to the starting lights here today. So a bunch of early birds here as we get started for this one. But welcome out to this final round. This one's going to be a very special one. However, it's looking pretty bitter if you're the Favala for Christian Ramau. There's some engine troubles that's going on. He's stuck in the garage at the moment. P2 in the championship, and he's 17 points off the title. Well, unfortunately, it's not looking like he may be able to make the start of the race. Now, there is some time left. We have seen some surprises from Christian in the past. If we could see him back on track, after all, he is fighting for the title against Daniel Santos. And if he cannot roll out on the grid, Santos, by default, will become champion before we even start racing. So time is ticking and the clock is running until we get to lights out when that rolling start begins. So there's a lot to look forward to. A lot of heartbreak if you're a fan of the Brazilian driver, but there's still a lot left of racing to go here. 50 minutes is still going to be a long one, so let's take you through how this championship really turned out. Back over at the start of this one, we headed to Spa. After that, it was a very tricky Dutch Grand Prix at Zandvoort. Not as much carnage as we thought until we head to Road America. That was a circuit where it was real carnage. At the end of that, though, we headed to the Italian Grand Prix, where Christian Ramau did take victory on track, but a 5-second time penalty for his penultimate lap antics sent him down to P2. Ahead of him, Daniel Santos, who took the race win as well at Road America. And now we are at the finale. Albert Park Circuit, Australian Grand Prix. Now, a slight change to the format that hasn't been updated on our screens here. We are completed free practice, and we're going to get into qualifying. Let's scratch that out for the moment, and let's talk about that race down below. 50 minutes of racing. It's going to be a rolling start, so it's an added extra 5 minutes for these drivers to come around the circuit at 80 kilometers to get ready and going for the big one. There's no mandatory pit stop for this race and for the entirety of this championship. However, you're still going to see drivers in the pits. Worst case scenario, or maybe best case scenario if you want a little bit of strategic action, if there's a lot of safety cars, that might be a cause for a no stop, but it's very tricky. Even at Road America, it was better to pit. And a physical safety car on circuit, something we have not seen basically ever. You got to look all the way back, if you're a CMRC historian, to 2022, where we did have one on circuit, but that's a different story. And we have ourselves a safety car on track, Mr. Chaz Mustard, who will be operating that. We saw him just at the beginning of the stream at the end of practice, rolling around on circuit. He'll be sitting down and watching this one. Going to be helping out with a little bit of the stewarding. But what a fantastic series it has been. Porsche Supercup, now in its second inaugural season, has been nothing but simply lovely. And to all those drivers who did make the appearance to show up to race, even if it was just one round, we appreciate you. And now we look to the future. Next up, you did see the trailer at the start of this one, and that is Formula 4. There's your poster right there. Formula 4 about to get started in 2 weeks' time. Next week, we head to the Nürburgring, but let's talk about Formula 4 for a moment. It's the return since 2024, and we started off, well, right at the circuit the real-life Formula 1 circus is headed to and is racing at right now. I believe qualifying has officially started, but don't worry, there's no spoilers here. I don't want to be spoiled as well either, so we're still going to have a clean one. Next up, it's the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in Montreal for the Canadian Grand Prix, May 23rd. That will also share the same date. And then, after that, Istanbul Park. That's a big one. And that is going to be one we cannot wait for at all. Of course, in the real world, Istanbul Park was signed on. So it's going to be pretty awesome when that goes down. And then in the finale, it's Silverstone, but not the full circuit. It's going to be the national layout. Lots to look forward to. And one to look forward to right about now is qualifying, because the green light is about to head off. And we're going to get this session underway. So if you're excited for this one, hit that subscribe button. Let's get started. Session underway. It's coming up next.
Okay, pen might hit the paper, but we making more than songs. Life is in the music, we've been writing more than wrongs. Lighting in the bottle, stories too long. That's why I'm in the front row, arms locked with the strong. See, I don't know how others get by. Me and my sisters and brothers alike, we step in the party knowing everybody's a part of a bigger and better reply. My money's on why, cause we do or die, and why would I lie? Cause who could deny they jumping together when feeling the bottom? The only concern is you feeling surprised. I can't slow now, cause when it goes down, we all know either you move or you frozen. Path was chosen, it's like that.
As we begin this qualifying session off strong, welcome to Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club, qualifying firmly underway. As the drivers cross over the line to set their first lap times there, action already getting underway in the background. There is how it's looking so far. Maximilian Fleer, fastest in quali at the moment. Currently setting a lap time of a 1:48.009, and Anna Adam is going to take it right back. He's going to have a fantastic lap there. 47.941, the fastest Porsche on circuit now as more drivers starting to enter the fray here. And Layla, Miss Midnight Bloom, she's not a rookie because she is the fastest driver here, 47.887. Yeah, if I did mention that she was a rookie in the last round, I have no idea why my brain just thought she was a new driver. She has been with us for quite a while now, so yeah, anything but a rookie here. A little bit harsh onto the brakes there, just passing through turn 3, now into T4. Into the left-hander now on corner exit. A little scrappy that part out, but isn't it nice to have qualifying back once again? It's been such a long time since we've had a public qualifying session. But now we're finally back and going here and having some cars on track. It's been a long time coming, and we would love to see more public qualifying. And actually, we will get some split class qualifying next week when we head to the Nürburgring. But nonetheless, though, we still have some action to unfold. And there's Jimmy Bunn, just a little bit scrappy on corner exit, and he just cannot save the car. He'll hit the wall out of the final corner. Here comes Maximilian Fleer, purple in the first 2 sectors, cannot improve in that final part. And P3. So as more time still come in, it's still Layla at the top at the moment. Hubert is going faster on a lap here. We'll come around the final corner. Is this an out lap? I'm unsure about it, but we are getting a word that it is a purple middle sector. So Hubert will cross the line. What a showcase. Driver of the day last week out. And yes, it's a valid lap time of a 1:47.340. A superstar type of lap. And a great performance. Driver of the day last week out. As we continue this one off, Keimani running very fast. He's gone purple in the first sector. And there you see him flying down the middle of the circuit. There's a long, snaky straight. We'll go on board as we head into the famous section of turn 9 and 10. Get it slowed down. And it's not like an open wheel Formula car. It is very, very difficult to carry a lot of speed through that fast chicane. But he's flying out here. He's doing a great lap so far. 2 purple sectors. And Keimani looking for maybe a maiden pole. And he do it. Penultimate corner now to go. Flick it into the left-hander. Very tight. Get the car all the way slowed down now on exit. 1 corner to go. Little lift on the throttle. Use all that exit curb available to you. And a great run. 1:47.340 to beat on this lap. He will not beat it, but he'll go up to P2. So as the rest of the drivers come around to complete another flyer, there's Keimani now coming back to the pits. There is Layla, not on the quickest of lap times, but Anna Adam will attempt a good one here. Hot on the bubble now, looking for a solid time to set on the board. He's already P4 and on the second row, but he and Gotham Sim Racing, it hasn't been the best of luck in this Porsche 911 GT3 Cup number 44. He's looking for some luck here today, even if it is in the final round, but it's in a circuit that he knows very well at Albert Park. But here we go. Couple sharp corners to go. It's very easy to overshoot it that time by. Now into this right-hander. It's pretty blinding. You don't really see it off-board, but on-board, it's very difficult to nail the apex with this sunlight beaming down in the shadows. But now through the penultimate corner and into the final corner. Anna's going to want a great exit out here. And then a mad dash to the line. 47.340 to beat. 221 kilometers crossing the line now. And he's 4/10 off, but it's improvement. And he takes down Layla's time. And Maximilian Fleer, though, he is on top. Provisional pole with a purple third sector of 47.105. He'll take it straight to the pit lane. Hubert, a little too hot, drifting it. He's in the gravel as well. Had a solid first sector with a 35.4. And yeah, that car is all over the place. And he's going to have to watch out behind him. Flying very quickly here, Kimani. And getting right out the way, Hubert. He's just going to floor it right into the grass. No need to worry about any of the repairs. So meanwhile, ooh, Hubert, I think that is, oh, it's still the exit of the final corner. Maybe he just does not want to come around and go for it again. 20 minutes, just under, left to go in this session. Hubert will take that one straight into pit lane. Now next up, who is on a flyer that we could potentially look out for is Daniel Santos, championship leader, looking for his next title. And CMRSC hunting down for it. His third, his hat trick of championships. 16 concurrent drivers in the session. As we're almost about to enter the halfway point in quali. And Keimani once again purple, this time in the middle sector. And looking very hot on this lap. Can he recover some time at 35.6 in the first sector? Not the quickest. Solid on the brakes. Right-hander. Pretty nice. Maybe could enter in with a little bit more speed. But looking pretty solid on this lap time. He's P3 as it stands. With 18 minutes left on the clock, Keimani is going to be next to come to the line from P3. He'll stay P3, 147.738 on that lap time alone. And that's the best he can hold on for. Here's Oleg. And crossing over now, stays P6. And there is, I think that was Jimmy who just entered into pit lane. And more drivers now entering back into the session. We're going to have about 18 in here. Let's stay on board with Oleg. Onto the brakes. Turn 3. Flick it into 4. Very swell. Between limits, right-hander flat out. And now flying into the right-hander, you can see he's just a 10th off. A smidgen off the fastest time. Little flick to the right, into the left. Now flat out on this back straight. Very long and twisty. We'll try to see what he does here. Does he look for that 100-meter marker to get hard onto the brakes? There it is. Harsh on it indeed to the left-hander. And accelerating out, powering through to the right. Back straight now to go. Any chance to improve this one? P6. He's been very fast all week long. Just missing the apex by a smidge. Now 3 corners left. And he's lost the back end, sliding the rear, and he holds on to it. But that lap time is very much gone. And up at front, there is Mike. Now crossing the line for S&M Academy. And Mike Wynn still looking for some proper improvement on circuit. Maximilian Fleer, previous lap time was purple in the first sector, 47.114. So far, dominating here in qualifying. Hubert not able to get close to it at the moment. And we could potentially see some more drivers attempt for a proper lap time, as you see Jimmy Bunn just dancing over turn 2. And Christoph trying to hustle his way through, following Jimmy. A little bit scrunchy for track limits. I think race direction would have wanted. But nonetheless, though, now officially halfway into this qualifying session, we get racing going at the top of the hour. So that's one you do not want to miss out on. We also have Eamon Asbir, who is on his outlap. We're going to get to him in a few moments. He's currently entering into 4. Let's see, 6/10 off Christoph is. Behind him, Jimmy, who is on a personal best in the first sector. Not able to find the best of times through the remainder of this lap. Still has a ways to go. We stick with both of them. And hearing a bit of lifts, and I think that is Christoph, who will just take it to pit lane. And yes, he will. So it's just Jimmy by himself out here. With 2 corners left to go into the left-hander. Very smooth on braking, and 1 corner left to go. Last time we were here, it was back at the 2025 Formula 1 CMRSC World Championship. What a ride that was. That was a very, very crazy event. A lot of incidents to go out there. Safety car frenzy kind of circuit. We may see that here today. There is Eamon. Let's take it from the drone cam, top down. We'll watch as he heads into 9 and 10. Trying to get the most out of his 911. And Eamon just has not had the best of luck compared to his teammate in this one. But their team is looking to take over and finish P1 in the team championship. And he's looking to sort this one out here. Penultimate corner for Eamon. And on exit here, what kind of lap time is he looking for? Well, looking for a 47.1, of course, crossing the line now. And it's P9 at the moment. Next up, here's Gotham Sim Racing's Anna Adam, the Canadian. Don't know why his flag is not popping up there, but he now flies into the very hard braking zone. You're going to see a lot of dive bombs in this section easily. For sure. Down to the right-hander. Holding on with dear life to track limits. Now with 2 corners left to go. Make that 1 corner. And to the line now. Here we go. Anna Adam, P4, still looking for a solid lap time. P4 stays. P4, 147.5. So he's a 10th off. Trying to get down to at least attempt to get to 3rd, let alone the front row, which is still locked out by the German. The Polish driver, Seven Steinberg. That is Adam's teammate. Hits the wall for good measure. And he may have to take that one straight into the pits. So trying to get a solid lap time, but he's currently sitting in the mid-pack. Here's Mike Nguyen, the Vietnamese, the first ever Vietnamese driver in CMRSC to join us. And we're happy to see him here. But let's see what he can do now. This time by 11 minutes left to go. A little slide on exit around the final corner. Mike Wynn to the line now from P9. He'll stay 9th position ahead of his teammate, Jimmy Bunn. Everybody on track except for Maximilian Fleer as well as Bunn and Ji-Won Kim. Santos, you may notice he is in pit lane. He's going to be attempting a last to first challenge. He realizes his championship contention is not here today. He's got it essentially wrapped up. We can congratulate him now if we wanted to. But still some work to do. As there is Max now heading out on circuit. Maybe he feels like there could be a threat for his pole position. After all, Eamon Nasseir is on circuit. 2/10 down though in that first part. But he's a lot more quicker. Now what can he do? On board with the Italian driver. Hadn't had the best of luck back in Italy. His home races just has not really been clicking. He's like our Charles Leclerc. He's a very solid driver, but once he gets at home, it's just anywhere but luck for him. But a previous champion, of course, in CMRSC. You look back at the GT World Challenge, and that was his second title. He and his teammate Daniel Santos tied with 2 championships, but Santos will be able to get to his third title here today. And 9 minutes left to go in this session. Can we potentially see a first-time winner here? That could be a very fun one. Hubert, P2, has not ever won here, as well as Keimani, Oleg. There's some big drivers to look out for. P8 for Eamon. At the moment, not doing the best in qualifying here against the rest of the pack. And here is Hubert. And Pastuska staying P2 on this lap time here because he's going to start a brand new lap. And we'll visit back him in a moment. Keimani had some purple in the first sector on his previous lap. Junior up ahead. And look at that for a first sector. Almost matching the pole sitter's time with 8 minutes left to go. Now, they should be familiar with 8 minutes because that is basically the regular qualifying session amount of time that all these drivers had for the entirety of this one. Until this final round here. And best of all, look at that. 10th. Just under it here. Could be a solid lap time for P2. He's got Junior up ahead. Now, is that going to be trouble for him? They're both on a lap. And what's great for Keimani, Neoni's going to have that slipstream. And you know what? Junior's going to let him through. So this could be a huge lap time to watch out for if he can nail these final 3 corners. Let's go on board. First of those 3. Right on the throttle. Penultimate corner, very sharp, slow part on the circuit. Left-hander, hugging over the curb. Eamon Nasseir, 47.586 to take P3. Pushes down Keimani, but I think this lap time may be able to take him down if he did everything right in the third sector from P4 on the clock. He'll take down Eamon. He'll go back to third. Anna Adam will go to fourth. Eamon's been shuffled down to fifth. 6 minutes. 45 seconds left to go, and qualifying's getting a lot more spicy, but so far, Max is the fastest driver and holds on to this lap time. Hubert, P2, still second fastest. He's now going to be going on a proper lap time. Here's a little dip onto the grass into the inside, little slide as they head out of 1 into 2 on board with him. Let's see how he takes the ending of this first sector. Now into the right-hander. Do you see up the road? That's Mike Wynn off circuit. And he'll let through those following drivers behind. Eamon up ahead. Maybe a little bit of teamwork potentially between them. They're not a part of the same team together exactly, but I don't think they'll be any stranger to help out each other. 5 minutes, 50 seconds left to go in qualifying. Starting to get a bit intense, and this was one of the things that we have missed for quite a while. Having this kind of qualifying session and watching these drivers coming around to the very end, it gives us that bit of goosebumps, that excitement. And both Eamon and Hubert pushing. Here you see Eamon's sector times. Both of them trailing, and actually, you know what? Eamon will let through Hubert, knowing that he was on a lap time here. And now he's just got a handful of corners to navigate. He is hooking himself up, looking for pole position. Now, can he get it done? That is the big question we're all going to ask in his second time racing in CMRSC. Last week out, he also started P2. Maximilian Fleer, however, will go faster with a 47.012. And Max out of nowhere there puts down a stellar lap time, extends the gap, the advantage. He sits in pit lane, and you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if he's going to go take a drink, because that might be his qualifying session done and dusted. I don't think anybody's touching that lap time. Maximilian Fleer on top here in this qualifying section. What a solid lap there from him. And that is going to be, if he can hold it down, his very first pole position in this Porsche Supercup. And better late than never, I say. 4 minutes left to go. I don't think he's going to be coming out. Maybe for one more run. Could be. But he might just sit this one and watch the rest of the pack go through. And there is Keimani, who's just a 10th down in that first part of the circuit. And Hubert, we don't see the sector times live on screen, but he is faster in the middle. 22.441. Max's time, for example, 22.477. So just that bit quicker. He had to reel in some time in the first sector, but he's looking pretty hot around here. Oh, very close to the gravel there on exit. And in the background, you see Oleg. I think he just touched the gravel as well as Eamon was going through. Now Hubert, 2 corners left to go. Final corner for him. And now to the line. Max will be watching Hubert's time very closely as he races to it. Is it pole? No, it's not. 47.2. Eamon to the line. 47.9. Mind him, Oleg. P6, 47.665. Those are still their lap times. Keimani is called it quits. He's in the pit lane. Somebody's let off a firework here. Maybe it is Max celebrating. Is it too early, though? There's still some time left. 2 minutes, 38 seconds left to go. You got to be in the sweet spot for these tires, however. And Hubert may be past that mark. His first sector, 35.5. And he's a 10th down in that first part. Keimani coming out now. Gonna try it one more time. There's Junior there just setting off to the side as Adam flies through. On this lap, Oleg takes it to the pits. 2 minutes left to go. This is your final chance to get out there right about now. If you don't get out there on circuit, if you're sitting in the pits, your qualifying is essentially over. As we watch Anna Adam. Oh, it's track limits right there. I have a feeling that might be. Yes, it is. He takes it to the pits. Anna Adam from P4, his qualifying, done and dusted. There's no chance he'll be able to improve, but Keimani flying out here. Purple sector in the middle. First sector, however, that's a different story because this is his outlap, but he's already flying, and he's looking for glory. Hubert will take it to the pits. That's his qualifying complete. We look down to the rest of the order. And Keimani may be a driver to look out for on this lap. He's got the freshest of fresh tires out here. I think Oleg might be as well. Flying around here. He's trying to come around quick for this one lap shootout here. But this is it. One final chance for all these drivers once they cross the line here. They'll be on their final attempt. So we stay with Keimani here for this first part on this lap. And let's see what he can do. He's got his teammate up ahead, S&M Sim Sport Jimmy Bunn up the road. Staying between track limits, holding on to it. Sweet as you like. Down to the right-hander. Maybe a tiny bit of a lift. First sector, almost matching Fleer's time there. Oh, 28 thousandths of a second off the absolute fastest. Timer is up. P13 crossed the line. That's Danny Nasseir. He's the last driver who will complete a lap. Will return to Keimani in a moment. Anna Adam, however, I think that may be his qualifying done. He is still on his outlap. That's him done and dusted. Eamon Esper will be that first driver to come to the line. Jimmy Bunn headed off circuit at turn 9. He'll take it to the pits to let through Keimani. Eamon, though, P5, can he improve on this final attempt around the final corner? The Italian driver here in the final race at Porsche Supercup Albert Park. Does he improve on this lap time? He does not. But eyes are on Keimani. 22.5 in the middle sector. Lost a 10th. Can he at least get to the front row? Would be huge for the Frenchman. Keimani. Hundreds of feet away to the line. We'll cross it now. We'll stay P3. And a valiant effort, but a 47.819 will not be enough for that one there. Junior will take it to the pits. P6, some yellow flags. It's Oleg that will come around. And there is Danny Nasseir, who is on that last lap. Anna Adam is going purple in the first sector. I'm not too sure, though, if that lap is going to count, because I believe he did cross after the timer expired. But we'll see what the session says. And I think that might be dependent on when Danny Nasseir does cross the line. I'm not too sure. I think they're just going to wait for him. But let's see. Danny Nasseir to the line now. Here we go. Front straight. He's sitting P13. Can he inch his way into the top 10? That would be Evan Steinberg. It is not. He's not going to improve. And that is going to be qualifying complete. Maximilian Fleer on pole position. His first pole in the championship. Followed by Hubert and Keimani. All right. Congratulations. Your top three there. Max, Hubert, and Keimani. Solid qualifying there as well. Very happy to see when we have public qualifying and all cars on track. It's still a sweet one to watch out for. So we have a 5-minute intermission now before we get drivers onto the grid. Qualifying was the only thing that changed within the format. Everything else is exactly the same for the rest of the rule set of this series. It's been a very fun one. To say the least. It's been a very fun Porsche Supercup season. So thank you everyone who did turn out to it. I know there also have been a handful of drivers even from the very end, even in this final round, still want to get in on the action. I appreciate you. And that actually means a lot. So Porsche Supercup complete. Probably won't see this another time this year. But very happy to say that maybe a mainstay coming into the next year as well. So with one final race left to go here, let's have a solid one. Let's have some fun. So, what a time here. But as we wait for drivers to get on to the grid, if you have not heard the news, our next championship in CMRC has already been announced. And if you have not checked out the trailer yet on YouTube, I got you covered right here. A very snappy and quick trailer there. That is the Formula 4 Sprint Championship that's coming up May 16th in a fortnight's time. We started off with the circuit that Formula 1 races at this weekend at the Miami International Autodrome. We follow it up the same weekend as the IRL Canadian Grand Prix in Formula 1. It is Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. May 23rd, Istanbul Park. That was the big news line header all week long, as the Turkish Grand Prix makes a return IRL. So we're making the stop here in the sim world, and in the finale, Silverstone National, a shortened layout but used in the British F4 season. Looking in chat there, this is Yuan Kim. So happy to be I was so happy. I had so much fun spending the Porsche Supercup season with all of you. Looking forward to the final round as well. Ji-Won Kim, thank you so much. Our second South Korean driver to join us. The first one, CO Polar. So very awesome there to have him join us as well. We're going to get drivers very soon onto the grid. But this is our one final time to take a look at some of these fantastic looking liveries. And we'll start it off here, and I want to give a massive shout out to Nixon Roll for the safety car design for this final round, and even our safety car driver here, Chaz Mustard, enjoying the skin. And we are going to definitely see this one next week at the 24 Hours of Nürburgring Virtual. But yes, massive shout out to Nixon for this fantastic looking livery here. Very awesome there. Let's look at the rest of the pack here. Santos, championship leader. Evan Spear, Alex Sensen, Kemani, Claudio, Evan Steinberg, Layla, Anna, Adam, Jimmy, Christoph, G1 Kim just up ahead here. Mike Wynn. Down over here, there's your pole sitter, Maximilian Fleer. No teammate this time around. Hubert and Max Fix, and there's our alternate safety car here. So we're going to wait till we get drivers now onto the grid. And let's see them out. All right, if you're just rejoining into the server, make sure you have your setups good to go for this one. Should be teleported onto the grid shortly. Christian's racing today. Well, that is the big headline here, and let's turn down the music for it. So, a huge moment. No, you don't have to rejoin. I'm just saying if any drivers did rejoin in that moment there, make sure to set your setup correctly. Yeah, don't worry, Layla. So, huge news coming out this weekend. Christian sitting in the pits. I see him in chat. And I think he's pulled up a lawn chair in pit lane, and he's gonna watch this race out here. Trouble for his car, and that is a massive shame. His championship season coming to an end, but definitely not gonna be his last opportunity for a championship fight. There is still a lot to go. But yeah, a bit of a shame. And Christian, I feel for you with the issues you got with the your wheel and pedal set. Hopefully you can get that sorted out for a week's time. I know Nürburgring's gonna be pretty fun as well. But nonetheless, show must go on, as they all say in the show business. And we look at the grid here. Maximilian Fleer will be on pole, followed by Hubert. Now, second race, second time P2. Keimani having a great qualifying session in P3, as well as Anna Adam. Eamon Espear, P5 for him. I have Oleg, Layla, Christoph, Mike Wynn, Evan Steinberg, Jimmy Bunn, missing a car right there. Hopefully, we can see him on circuit here as well. I think we're also getting Danny Nasseir just entering into the session. I did have some connection issues. Yeah, Danny, I see you struggling to rejoin in. Real penalties given some issues. We'll do one quick restart here, so the timer will reset. Keep an eye on those setups. Try rejoining now. The server's telling us that a real penalty is like kicking you out because of the disconnection earlier. I'm not too sure. We've just restarted the timer there, so give a double check on your setups. It tends to reset them. I think Danny should be loading back on. Yeah, I see you on grid, so you're good to go, Danny. So when timer expires, that's when the official rolling start will begin. All right, let's take a look at the grid as it stands right about now. And we'll continue with the order quickly. Maximilian, Hubert, Keimani, Anna, Adam, Eamon Aspear, Oleg, Layla, Christoph, Mike Wynn, Evan Steinberg, Jimmy Bunn, Claudio Jr., Danny Nasseir, G1 Kim, Max Fix, and Daniel Santos, who will start down here. Reason why? Well, he wants to go for a little fast last to first challenge. He's already got the championship done and dusted. So let's see how he does. Yep, mic check for you, Layla, if you're good to go. And there is your safety car all the way at the back. Oh, trouble. Why is Danny Nasseir disconnected again? All right, Danny, you got 30 seconds. I've seen you disconnect a second time. Yeah, if the rolling start begins, just come in from the pits. If it'll load in properly. So 15 seconds left, and we're going to get this rolling start underway. Right about now. We watch the lights to actually begin this rolling start here. And just like that, we're going to get it underway. So here we go. Rolling start has officially begun here. And we're going to get this one started. Oh, and there is Danny. So he has been able to join there. That's great. No, he is in the pits. All right, Danny, you're going to be in the pits. Just follow up behind the rest of the pack. They're just entering into T1, Danny. So if anybody who was behind Danny in the grid, you can just shuffle up that position and just close up that gap. Let's do this. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club, and it is time for the finale of the 2026 Porsche Supercup. We're about to get going here for some incredible action for the Australian Grand Prix. The green light is next. And that's exactly what's going to go down here today. Take a look at your front pack there. That's the last time we're going to be seeing this rolling start here for a little while, till we get into the GT3 bit of racing in June. The Endurance Championship next week out, we head to the Nürburgring. Then we'll take a break from that. It's Formula 4 racing. And then we return to GT3 for Le Mans and Spa, and then it's the final series. Ooh, Oleg into the pits. Pulling off the iRacing Spa 24, cooling the tires into the grass kind of treatment there. There's the light that's off. That now officially indicates that this is the lap we go racing. Heartbeat moment indeed in chat. But this is it. So 80 kilometers that all these drivers are pulling off here as we wait for the green. And a couple of corners just to navigate through. And you saw Daniel Santos, very funny, letting through Danny Nasseir, saying, you know what? I need to be last. I want this last to first challenge. Last time he pulled that off, all the way back at Bathurst 12-hour virtual on Valentine's Day, February 14th. Ooh, a little bit of a brake check there. I did see one of the Gotham Sim Racing cars go. Hopefully they can make it alive here. It's going to be a long 50 minutes of racing to go for this time. There you see the pack just going a little bit wide to allow those drivers to file in through. But here we go. They'll see the light very shortly. But the crowd, they are going to be cheering on their feet. So rounding out the final corner about now, you're going to be getting in line to begin what is going to be the final round of the championship. We wait for it. The red light gonna come up on your screen to indicate we are about to go. And for the final time in Porsche Supercup, we go racing! Maximilian Fleer leads us off and followed by Uber. They head into turn one and Adam will dive it down the inside. Can he hold on? It's very tight through the rest of the order. Down in the background, very shuffled up. Anna's been hip checked wide. And it's Keimani who will take third. Eamon Asseir, fourth position now in this section here. And Uber goes down the inside. Oleg will also get through and no, he's tagged. He's been taken out wide there. And Max fighting off hard. He sends Uber wide off circuit. And they go side by side into the right-hander flat out. Uber takes back the lead. Max now shuffled down to second, battling for third, 2 by 2. Now entering into the mid part of the straight, Layla trying to hustle up. She's in fifth. Contact is made, and Eamon's been sent 2 wheels in the air. Eamon's been launched up in outer space. He's got back down. I don't know what went down for him, but they straight lined it. Layla's looking for fourth. Side by side, there they go. Huber leads the race. Keimani and Layla, side by side, have to give each other some racing room together, and they do. So Christoph is ahead of Eamon as well. I don't know what went down, but Eamon 2 wheels in the air. On board with Evan Steinberg is Mike Wynn for company. He backs up very early on. Jimmy Bunn ahead. Maybe losing a little bit of time there. Just against that car ahead, Eamon Asseir. And they shuffle into the final corner here, and 1 lap done, and Dustin Huber leads off the GB. It's very similar back at Monza, where Huber led it off, fastest lap for him for great measure. Now into turn 1, anybody looking to spice up their day with a little send down the inside. I'm already seeing some action as G1 Kim against Claudio Jr. trying to go around the inside. Maybe not, no. G1 Kim is going to stay out wide there for the time being. There is Anna Adam, who is very slow moving there. Down the order, Claudio does lose that position to Kim in the 3. But up at the front, it's still Huber leading off this race, looking for that maiden win. Maximilian Fleer also looking for a race win as well. Keimani, top 3, all trying to make some history together. Huber is the fastest driver here in the first sector, trying to pull away, but this slipstream is just a bit too powerful, and Max is just going to hold on to the rear end as now they head into the left and right 9 and 10 complex. And they still get very close together. Talk about close racing. Here is Oleg, who goes side by side contact. G1 Kim sent it down the inside. He's been sent off circuit, and he gets back going, but now he's in the back of the field. Evan Steinberg loses that position to Jimmy Bunn, but Evan has the switchback now on the inside and sends it. Does he hold on? Yes, he does, firmly, and that's that position back for Steinberg. And oh, Jimmy, that was a harsh dive bomb down the inside. Has not worked out. Santos has been butted out wide. Oh, no. And Daniel Santos, he's been bullied out there. Jimmy Bunn all over the place, sliding that Super Cup. And now side by side with his teammate, Mike Wynn. Very hard bit of racing between them. You also see Oleg trying to get the overtake done. on Mike Wynn. And there's Santos. He'll make easy work of one of the two SimSport drivers. He's been clipped into the grass, however, holding on. Mike Wynn able to keep it on the circuit and not losing too much time. He'll drop one position. Now Santos, he's not going to be playing too kind with that driver ahead. Jimmy Bunn, who put him off circuit there for the moment. Let's see what goes down here. Great exit from championship leader. And he sees the door wide open on the inside, and he'll say, thank you very much. That's going to be easy pickings. Another one bites the dust. He's P8. Can he break away from the slipstream here? Does Jimmy send it potentially? No, he does not. So that's P8 for Santos. So we switch to his teammate, who's having a solid run here. P5 he's looking for. Oh, hard on the curb. That's going to ruin his momentum there. Luckily, he does not have to worry about anybody behind him for position. Meanwhile, 3-car fight here. Oleg goes through. And Max Fix is going to drop down not one, but 2 spots. And Jimmy Bunn is also going to drop down from his teammate for the time being. I did see Junior just clip the grass on corner exit there. Now it's going to allow Max to get all over the rear, and let's see what Fix can do. Now on the slipstream in the GoPro. Number 8. Is there any potential chance that he could put a move down on the inside? It looks like it's just a bit too far on this attempt. Into 1. Hard on the curb for both of them. Junior into the grass on the inside. They both go deep. Still nose to tail. Max could line him a move on the inside, and he is going to have that space, but will not commit entirely for that one. Up the road. Back with this fight here. Eamon has closed up the space, and now trying to look for a second opportunity, or maybe a third opportunity against Christoph. Suffering with a little bit of damage is Eamon. That kind of sums up how his championship's been looking. 6/10 the difference for the battle. Up at the front for the lead. That's the fight we want to look at very soon. And Eamon will want to get a solid run here on corner exit. 3/10 the difference here. Now, can he get it done? He's got it firmly slipstreaming. Maybe a move. Looks to the inside. No, does not commit for it. Meanwhile, Oleg will get Jimmy, who's been kind of struggling this early going. Meanwhile, speaking of struggle, a little clip on the grass there for Mike Wynn. Surviving, though, crucially on circuit. And nothing can be done there. But back up here as Eamon feels like the top 5 could be on for this lap. Now hunting onto the slipstream. 3/10 the difference. It's really going to start reeling him in, but turn 1 is going to appear right out of nowhere. Hard on the brakes for the both of them. Wide entry for Eamon to try to get the best of runs. And you know what? A little clip on the curb's not going to help, but he's still firmly in this fight here. Now, next part of the circuit. Turn 3 coming up right about now. Hard onto the brakes. Christoph is going to try to keep his car into the middle of the circuit, make it difficult for Eamon to try to attempt to move on the inside. Christoph is going to have a very slow exit. And into the right-hander, clipping over the grass between each other. Still very close for position between these two. It's really getting hot out here. And here we go, Eamon. Very good run. Does he have the nose up the inside? It very much is. Eamon now officially side by side. Christoph's going to have to be watching out here. Left the inside line if he can hold on to turn 9. It's a drag race, though, before they get there. Can they be the first of the late breakers into the next apex? Who's it going to be? Eamon will have the outside line. Can he sweep it? He'll try to go for it, and you know what? Simply lovely. He'll do so. Eamon, with a run of a lifetime, will go to 5th, but for how long? Because the Polish driver will try again. Little hip check for good measure between the two of them. Eamon will give a lot of space between the two. Maybe too much space. Eamon sends himself into the gravel. Behind them, Santos makes work of Evan Steinberg. And teammates are now P6 and 7. Meanwhile, at the front, Gap is very close. 4/10 between the two, and Hubert has some trouble now. 40 minutes. Very much left to go in this race. Lots of work. Lots of work left. And yes, yeah, I did accidentally make a 6-7 joke. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'll never do it again. Here is Max looking for P1. 5/10. Follow each other's lines. Very close between one another. Looking for that move. All it takes is one little mistake from Hubert, and that is going to spill trouble. And Max, all he has to do is keep that pressure going. Now, can he get this move? 4/10 the difference. One of your closer battles we have on circuit. Looking for this opportunity for this move. 18 concurrent viewers, thank you so much for tuning in to this final round. Next week, we head to the Nürburgring for 90 minutes of racing for the third round of the GT Endurance Cup. That's GT3 racing back in the flesh. 3/10 now. And Hubert, you gotta feel the pressure, buddy. How are you going to handle this one? So far, he's done a great job holding on to what will be 7 laps at the line. Now, granted, he's got to make that 7th lap as Maximilian does everything to just keep that nose firmly on the rear. And crossing over, another lap complete. Safety car free so far in this race. So lap 7 now. Long way to go. And a little bit of a touch on the grass on exit for Hubert's liking. It's going to just give a lot more help to, trouble actually, to Max Fleer. Evan Steinberg may have had trouble. Maybe Jimmy Bunn as well. They may be limping. They may have hit the wall a little too hard for good measure. And Claudio is going to pull to the side, potentially. Whoa, very close there between himself and Danny Nasseir. Let's go in car. Yes, it's trouble. And that is a nightmare because he's picked up that damage after the pit exit. Now he has to limp his car all the way around. And I'd suggest, you know what, just do it. Don't teleport to the pits and don't retire out this early because a safety car could bring him back in this fight. But looks like maybe Evan Steinberg was potentially collected and they both hit the wall. We need a I will never do it again counter. Fair enough. But we got to get that safety car potentially on road if we do see a massive crash coming up soon. And you know what? Almost 3 wide here. Those are teammates Jimmy Bunn and Adam. Evan Steinberg 3 wide. And look at that. Evan's just going to let them through. Allow his teammate to go by as they all go by each other into 9. So yeah, very much confirmed that Steinberg does have damage. And oh, into the gravel. That was, I don't think that was Danny Nasseir. Yeah, you see some markings in that gravel trap itself. Danny running off before that part of the circuit. Into 1, once again, very deep for Hubert. Trouble for the race leader. Maximilian Fleer is going to be coming up on the inside, and he'll take it. And that is pressure. And oh, Hubert slides the rear. He saves it, and Keimani will take over second. That's a harsh mistake. Hubert running into trouble, and the race lead is gone. Max leads the Grand Prix. And that is heartbreak there, probably watching his mirrors. And that is the pressure you get for being up at the front. And Mike Wynn barely avoiding the rear end of Oleg. That could have been nasty. Meanwhile, I think that's Steinberg and Danny Nasseir entering into pit lane. That could have been very, very nasty if Hubert did not hold on. If he did spin that car, that would have very much been a safety car right then and there. But luckily, it didn't pick up any further damage. Trouble though, P3. Oh no, and speaking of the devil, Hubert into the gravel again. as he chases down Kimani. Maybe there could be a chance that we see a safety car if this racing keeps up. I mean, I'm sure you're going to get a very bad crash somewhere, although we do want to see these drivers reach to the very end. So Hubert will be doing everything in the book to push to get back to Max. How easy is that going to be? Well, I'll tell you one thing. Hubert and Max are matching each other on some of the fastest lap times here today. So it's not going to be the easiest trip in a while. Lap traffic as Evan Steinberg now comes out on circuit. And now we switch gears here. Eamon Nasseir against Christophe now, and Eamon switches to the inside. A very good dart now. Up the road, there you see Layla for fourth. Little contact hip check. Oh, I don't know about that one there. I don't know if Christophe maybe turned in, but did not look the nicest, that's for sure. I mean, not the cleanest of overtakes that Eamon would have wanted. But still a solid four-car fight here. It was Eamon who was squeezing the door on Christophe, which is more than fine to do. But it will get reviewed by the end of the session here. Meanwhile, Eamon will continue his efforts. Next up, Layla. Two Italians here. Layla did have some better runnings at Monza. But what does she do against her fellow countrymen? Does Eamon send a dive? Not this time by. And there you see. Right in P7, Daniel Santos, who looks for an opportunity to fight in this one. Could be a very solid four-car battle here. Eamon, though, a little bit deep on entry. Is going to lose a little bit of time. Meanwhile, Daniel Santos keeping very busy right behind Christophe. In the one of the road, there you see Layla doing a fantastic job of holding off. This very hungry pack. And Santos with a really good run here. Does not choose to go for the move on the inside. He'll stay as is. Layla, however, a little more trouble because that gap is a lot more closer. Eamon doing some very solid work to keep up here. Clip of the grass for Layla on board as they head into the right. Section to easily bottleneck. Little clip on the gravel. I don't think it lost Layla momentum, but the slipstream will cause some trouble. Layla's in a prime position right now in P4. But it's going to be a very tough one to hold on. Eamon trying to look for the outside move. Does he switch to the inside? Side by side into 9. Contact is made. And up the road, that's trouble. Who is that? That is Evan Steinberg. That is lap traffic. That's something you don't need to worry about. Especially not for position. And now into the braking zone here. Very sharp corner. Easy to get some dives in. Eamon firmly looking for this position here. Solid shout here. Layla, though, still holding on. We're entering about the 30-minute mark left. This is where the tires are really coming to the end of their life cycle as Layla runs wide and hits the wall. Does she go and defend the inside? She does so. Eamon will have the outside line to run into. And Layla goes deep. Oh, and that's trouble. Can you hold on there? And yes, Layla does. But unfortunately, that is trouble. And that is the end of that fight there. Meanwhile, Hubert and Keimani fight for second. And Hubert wants to get this P2 back going as soon as possible because the gap now up ahead is 6.9 seconds. And still fading away, so Hubert's got some work to do. Trouble for Layla. And, oh, that's in the wall. Safety car deployed. Safety car deployed. So 80 kilometers to slow down your pace. Safety car, just please stay at the exit of the pit lane. We'll wait till we get the pack a little more closer. As soon as you get P14 coming by, then you can head on to circuit. So safety car coming out from this one. So pit lane's going to be open, and I have a strong feeling that the pack is going to come in. And Max does not take it. That's interesting. Hubert, does he go for it? Yes, Hubert does. Aim and Esper. I'm not going to be surprised if he does. That's true. Christoph Daniel Santos also going to come in. So very interesting that the top two drivers did not come in at that time. Look at Santos. He drag races Christoph at the line. So a bit of a risk here for the rest of the pack. All right, so safety car, you're picking up Max. Maximilian Fleer. So there is your pack there, and pit lane is busy. And there's the second half of that pack coming in on exit. There you see P11 coming by. This could be very tight for position. And we're looking at the yellow line. I think Hubert will go down to fourth. So, safety car out here. The first one today and the first time we've seen it since Road America. And a long ways to go in this race, but kind of at the halfway point, a perfect time to enter into the box as Steinberg just letting through there. Eamon getting some repairs done. Perfect time to do so. There's Danny Nasseir also entering into the picture. So, now with the leaders all packed up together, it loses Fleer's advantage from the front. And that may have been the golden ticket to come in, unless Max and Keimani think it's a little too early and maybe those pack behind us to come in as they are hustling to get to the pack here. Pack is just before turn 9 and 10, so keep an eye on your real time and your speed to not run into them. We'll let through lap traffic in a moment. Just stay where you are in position, especially if you are a lapped car. So there is that pack now catching up to the rest of the field. As we wait for the full order to come around. All right, we're gonna ask all drivers to stick to the left side of the circuit. Left side of the circuit. All drivers, please single file to the left side of the circuit. Evan Steinberg, you're free to go through on the inside. Just be careful on this part. Junior, you're free to go through. Claudio Junior. It'll be on the inside line, as safe as possible. All right, Claudio, you can overtake. You're overtaking the pack. You're not letting through cars. So there is that pack, and there is Max to come in, and Keimani also in the pits. And That has spilled some trouble. Junior, you guys overtake the safety car. You're catching up all the way to the rear end. Your lap down, so this is going to give you your lap back. So, you, Junior, you can go full speed. You can go full speed. Just catch up to the rear of the pack. This is you getting your lap back, so you're able to compete with the rest of the drivers. So, here is the rest of our pack. Chat, we got our first safety car. Quite a while. I think that's what this race may have needed to just spice that one up a bit more. There is Max and there's Keimani. Their advantage is gone. But now you got to imagine they have a lap newer tires. A lap better fuel mileage. So this is going to be interesting. Daniel Santos now shuffled up to P1. P2, I should say. Hugh Burr is P1. This could get very interesting here. May have ourselves a 20-minute shoot to the end, unless it's going to bring out another safety car. Now, safety cars will be a thing for the next race at the Nürburgring for the Endurance Cup. That's going to be very fun to check out. Can't wait for it. P14 is now entering to the pack now, so he will be seeing that lead pack, and he does so. So there is Jimmy Bunn, P14, able to now be with the rest of the drivers. There is Steinberg, and we may have ourselves another lap here. So your rest of the two drivers that are coming in. 24 minutes, let's call it 25 minutes, rounded up, left to go here in the Australian Grand Prix. We're basically in that halfway point of this race. Drivers are going to get very antsy to return back to racing speeds. And Steinberg is now entering up to the front of the pack. So safety car will come in at the end of this lap. I'll let you know, safety car, when you're free to move away. All right, as a word to all drivers, you will be under race control's command. That'll be my command. I will signal the green flag when we go racing, so you're going to hear it audibly from me. Keep an ear open. Safety car, you're coming in to the pits. Huber, you're at 80 kilometers. This is a single file start, so no driver should be out of line. We wait now for our safety car to come into the pits. And he is going to do so. All drivers now caught up to the queue. They wait for it. Green flag, green flag, green flag. And we're racing. So Huber leads us off. Daniel Santos is going to try to get the jump as they head into one. This could get very spicy here as they head into it hard on the braking. Santos looks for the inside against Huber. Cannot get it done. 3 wide in the background. Layla faces through a couple drivers even. As they head down into 3, this could get very intense from this part of the circuit. Side by side, Anna Adam against Daniel Santos. Into the left-hander. And Santos holding on to P2. Anna's been shuffled out wide. Into the right-hander. They single file for the time being. Danny's hit the wall. Danny filing off the circuit. More pack racing here. Eamon trying to go through Santos. Oh, he taps the rear of Oleg. He survives. He holds on, though. But he drops down a heap of positions. P1 is out of sight, and now the rest of the pack can really have some fun out here into the next chicane. Going to be very close between the two. It's side-by-side action. There's Anna Adam, who's going to lead this pack very hot enough. And there's Santos P10 after running into the rear end of Oleg, and they survive through turns 9 and 10. And now, as they head into turn 11 here, Anna Adam defends the inside. 3 wide there as well. Keimani on the inside. Layla's been kind of shuffled onto the grass. Keimani's not going to try to go for that inside move, but up the road, there you see Eamon taps the rear end of Anna Adam, getting all sorts of squirrely in the background as well, but back onto the front straight as that's the leader up ahead. There's your battle for second. Door-to-door, side-by-side, fresh tires for all of them, and Eamon is going to be very strong if he can get this move done around the outside. Anna Adams going to try to cover it off. He holds on, still side-by-side. They swap. Keimani in the back, trying to look for his chance to pounce on this fight here, and Eamon is going to get that move done. Anna Adams going to try to send it nonetheless, door-to-door between the two. The Canadian will try his best to fight, but it won't be able to go through. Now into the right-hander, and you see Keimani all over the rear of P3. Into the right. And we go rear cam of Anna Adam, feeling like a sitting duck, like the slipstream is just not there. Keimani gives him a bump draft as well to try to get the hustle up. It's not going to be quite enough for Anna Adam to hold on. That slipstream is far too powerful. Now we're going to get into turn 9 and 10. And Oleg is going to try to find his way up the move. And in fact, he'll get Keimani from that altercation there. There you see Maximilian Fleer fighting against Christoph. And Oleg now inside line hits the sausage curve for good measure. Will drop that position to go down to 5th. There you see the side-by-side bit of racing between Christoph and Maximilian, where Christoph just making a little bit of contact. There's some light contact. Daniel Santos all over the middle of this pack here as Layla's in the back. And some more fantastic pack racing still continues. And Santos now hanging by a thread on the outside against Layla for P8 in points. Up the road, there you see Danny Nasseir. Oh, was that trouble? Danny just able to hold on. He's on the inside. Very scary moment there, but he is a lapped car. As he tries to let through these drivers here, very scary moment up the inside there. Keimani against Anna Adam. Now on exit. Very close between each other. Down the order, Layla holding on against Daniel Santos. On board with the championship leader. Into the right-hander. 18 minutes left to go. Oh, and there's Layla picking up some gravel on her left side tires. Not going to help out for her. And Anna side by side with Keimani. Could be very tight. This time by. Door to door into 9. Very close. Anna will have to seize the position. He'll drop. Max is up to 6th. I saw Santos at the moment. Couldn't get a position there either. And meanwhile, up at the front, Keimani holding on, and he's got the switch through. And Adams shuffled down to 4th. And with Eamon firmly ahead of this pack, he's able to dip out and try to hunt down P1. But this pack racing still continues. Into the right-hander once again, and now the fight for 3rd, and who can get that final place podium spot if it stays green to the end will be the big one. That'll be the moneymaker here. There's P2, 3.4 up the road. There's the rest of the pack, and Layla bumps the curb out of turn 1. Santos gets a very good run, and is it enough to potentially get a chance where he can send it? It is going to look for it on the inside of 3, and cannot get it done that time by another moment where Layla touches the sausage curb, runs wide here, and Santos may take advantage. Layla shuffling all over the place. Just trying to get the best of runs here. Cannot do so. Just cannot get that car planted. Goes wide on entry. Better chance for Santos to try to get the move. Meanwhile, there is your next pack here. Oleg is going to look for Anna Adam into the slipstream. Looking for that outside move. It's firmly there, firmly looking for it. Side by side, he's got Max on the inside as well. Max will have to back out. Can't go 3 wide into 9. And Oleg will shuffle up P5. He'll still hold on to 5th. Max may have a chance to potentially get a move here. Here he goes around the outside. Big chance for a position here. Can he swipe through? Oleg's going to hold on. Don't hit that sausage curb. Could be trouble for the both of them. And they do hold on. And Max will be able to get that move done. And there's Oleg trying to battle for scraps here. As that happens, there is Steinberg who gets past Mike Wynn. And still, Santos fights with Layla, but you know what, this time around, Santos has got it. Up at the front, Max drag races Anna Adam. It looks like Adam is dropping like a stone. Just cannot stay up with the top guys here. Door to door, out of 2. And now, there's Oleg right in the back, P6. Looking for a move here, tried to follow up on Anna's line, couldn't work out. Little touch there between Layla and Daniel Santos, and Layla powers around the outside, gets back the move to 8th. Door is shut there. And now, side by side, Maximilian and Adam, very close together. But now into turn 9 here, down the order. There you see Layla side by side with Santos. Santos has the opportunity. He's been tagged. Oh! Almost into contact. Oh, he did with Steinberg. Did he? I'm not too sure. Steinberg went for a 360. We're not getting word. Evan Steinberg did not make contact. No, I think he ran into the rear of Mike Wynn. Meanwhile, Oleg, little switch back there, Christoph. Round the outside. Door is being closed there very quickly. And Oleg still P6. And meanwhile, battle for P2. Oh, and look at that. Eamon's off the road. Oh, and there's trouble there. He hits the wall. Safety car deployed. Safety car deployed. Safety car deployed. Watch the exit of turn 1. Oh, and there is trouble there. And that is a scary one. Very scary. I don't think many people came into contact there. Oh my goodness. Well, that was fun while it lasted there. We had some incredible pack racing. And that is a scary one indeed. So now, as we slowly run down on time, so 80 kilometers, you're catching up to the pack slowly. Keep an eye on real time before turn 9, Wow. Holy, what a run. We're going to have all drivers stick to the left-hand side of the circuit, please. All drivers to the left side of the circuit. All right, Danny Nasseir can go through. Max, you're free to go through. Max Fix. Please overtake safely. You can take your time here if you'd like. You're overtaking cars up ahead. You're overtaking cars. Max Fix, you're passing the pack to get your lap back. You're a lap down. So you can do so on this straight here on the right side. Max Fix, overtake all the drivers, So that's the group who will be catching up there. So where is our trusty safety car on circuit? Looking for him. So it'll just be for one lap. Once we get to the end of the lap, hopefully when we have both of our drivers unlapping themselves, we should be good. So there is our pack there, coming to the straight there. Eamon Espeir will come in to the box. And I don't see the safety car in the pit lane, so that tells me, yeah, there he is at the front. So Eamon, Evan, Claudio, they're making a gamble here. Take a look at this. Pit lane for Ji-Won Kim as well. This could be huge. Get some new tires, and you're going to have yourself fresher tires by a landslide here. And Eamon, oh, trouble for him. I don't know what just happened. Oh, he's having trouble in his box. Something going wrong for him. There's the rest of the pack there, and that is Evan Steinberg and Ji-Won Kim, and Eamon has been sent backwards down the order. He's messed up his pit stop, trying to get this ordeal sorted. No clue what's going on for him. I think it's still tire changes underway for him. And yes, he's back going. So that's a little bit of trouble for him. Second safety car there on circuit. Chanseng rejoining on the racing line. Bit of a scary one. Bit of a scary one indeed. All right, so because we are under the 10-minute mark, this is going to mean this is the final safety car of the day. Oh, and we're getting word that I think Anna Adam had some trouble. No, he's calling out something. Not too sure. So yes, because this is, we're running out of time here. This is the final safety car. So whatever happens on this restart. It'll be the dash to the checkered flag. We won't have enough time to round everybody up and try this one again. So safety car, I'll let you know when you're coming in. You're just going to hold on with the pack. 8 minutes left to go. All right, Mr. Chaz, it's been an honor and a pleasure. I'll see you in the pit lane now. So safety car in the pits. Safety car in the pits. That's the last time we're going to see Mr. Chaz for today. And once again, shout out to Nixon for this fantastic livery. Absolutely stellar. One of Nixon's best work. shout out. Incredible. And you're going to see this one next week as well. So that's the safety car in the pits for the final time here. And here's the pack. Once again, all drivers are on my command when we go racing. Be ready for it. Best of luck. No more safety cars from this point. Let's sound it off. Green flag, green flag, green flag. And we go racing. The final restart here at the 2026 Porsche Supercup. It's Huber in the lead, followed by Keimani. There's Ola down the inside. It's a very crazy send. Max has to take to the grass. Christoph as well. Watch the rejoin Christoph. He does not at all. He sends it, and there's trouble down the mid-pack there. And that is even more chaos. Couldn't even make it past turn 2. Huber leads us off. Keimani P2. Max has been sent out. And Jimmy Bunn tagged him there. Max Fix also trying to get apart there. He's down P12 at the moment. Oleg will get a 10-second time penalty for his track limit. But we went from one safety car restart, which was so clean, so awesome, to the drivers just sending it to the very end. Layla, Evan Steinberg, too wide here as they chase down Daniel Santos. Daniel's going to be like, oh boy, pray for me, please. As Evan looks for this move here. Inside potentially on offer. Doesn't look like there is a chance there. Oh, trouble though, up the road. There you see it. Somebody's going very slow. It's Jimmy Bunn. And Eamon's been sent for a spin. Oh, and Danny's been collected. It's a car crash here. It's a pack of cars that take each other out. I'm not too sure if that's because Jimmy Bunn was going so slowly, but you got to imagine, why was he going slowly? He just held up everybody there for the moment. Something's wrong with Jimmy as Layla and Evan go too wide. And Steinberg trying to hold on to Layla here. Meanwhile, battle for the lead up at front could get interesting. It's 4/10 the difference between two drivers looking for a race win for their first time. And Layla also gets track limits infringed, and that is trouble for her race from P7. Now, battle for the lead. 3 drivers looking for their very first race win in CMRSC. Huber, Keimani, Oleg, and it's come down to this, and the only driver to spoil the party is the championship runner, leader, and eventual champion, Daniel Santos. Anna Adam gets a time penalty for cutting the circuit. Huber leads. Keimani going for it. Oh, and that's Anna Adam. He's taken to the wall. He's got a penalty, and I think he's just said, you know what, I quit. Oh, that's one way to exit out the session here. But we still fight for the race victory, and how close is this one gonna get? Huber P1, but 4/10 the difference to hold on against Keimani in what a action-packed finale safety car that was. I don't know how it went wrong, considering the first safety car restart was one of the most beautiful bits of driving I've ever seen from a safety car restart, and it's all gone crashing down for a handful of drivers. But 3 minutes left to go. And a final opportunity at glory. A first-time race winner as Mike Wynn, 10-second time penalty for cutting the circuit as well. More track limits infringements. There is Layla up to 50, and you got to imagine what would have went down if Layla did not get a 10-second time penalty. What a shame. As Layla dips to the grass there on the outside. And Jimmy Bunn, who's, well, the restart here did not look very pretty, and Jimmy has been all over the picture between this one. Hits the sausage curb, swipes over Steinberg's nose. And Evan will have to try a different opportunity for this move. And Steinberg with 2 minutes and 10 seconds left to go. Looks for 6th. And Jimmy has a slow run on exit into the right-hander. Here we go, trailing down side by side, door to door, down the straight. And Steinberg, is this an opportunity for a position to get claimed there for 6th? It looks like it for the time being. Does Jimmy go for the move back into 9? It does not look like it. Up the road, Layla takes to the escape road there on the inside of the curb. Trouble, and now those two can catch up quick. And Layla's hit the wall as well. There's even more trouble for Layla. And letting go of these positions there. Layla's dropping down. One mistake led to another. As she's trying to just get her feet here and hold on to the Super Cup for one final time. Fleer looking for Jimmy. And with 1 minute left to go, we're at the 2 to go. And there is the battle for the podium where Santos and Oleg start to duel. And it's Oleg. Oh, he tried to look for the move and Daniel Santos said, no, sir. Fair racing between them, that looked like there, but maybe the stewards might have a second look at it. Santos, though, has 2 laps to get victory here against 2 drivers that he knows he can be quicker than. And he has proven it in previous races in this championship. Can he do it? That would be absolutely huge to seal the deal and what would be a fantastic championship run for him. Meanwhile, Max and Jimmy had a little bit of a contact between one another, and a little bit of slide there for good measure. And trying to get all over the rear to get past Jimmy. It's not the easiest of tasks to get the overtake done, especially here at Melbourne. Side by side for 7th position, Jimmy has to just hold on to his line around the outside. Could be very tight between them. Jimmy sends it. He's way too deep. Way too deep. Makes contact with Max. And he tries his best to hold on. And he's made contact again. Oh, I think that's Max that time. That just bumped into the rear tire there. Whew. What a run. Max down the inside. And that is a little too much there. Door not quite open for Huber, for Keimani. They're going to see the white flag to indicate it's 1 to go here in the final race of the championship. And Keimani and Huber both looking for glory. Keimani, that's not the way to look for your first race win. He sends it into the grass there on the inside of 2. Side by side, Jimmy holds on to the inside line, very hard on the curb. Max is going to go around the outside, rejoining back on Jimmy. Will concede that position, nothing he can do. Mike Wynn now next up to see if he can take advantage of that mistake his teammate did make just now. What an eventful one. What a crazy one. Up at the front, 2 seconds. Keimani, that mistake costed him and sealed the deal. Eamon has some trouble there off the track. He gets back going. Moving very slowly, might I add. He's got back going, it looks like. And Keimani, down the back straight. 2 seconds the difference. What a run it's been for Hubert, and what a run it's been for Santos. You talk about Hubert for a second, his second race in it. 2 qualifying starts in 2nd position, and he looks for P1, and for Santos, he looks to make it 3, and redemption from the GT World Challenge. Let's talk about Hubert first, because around the final corner here, Hubert will take his first ever win in Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club. Hubert does it in Australia, and Daniel Santos is champion of the world. Give him the hat trick. He's done it. He has absolutely done it. What a run. What an absolute run for him. Championship done and dusted. A couple of drivers will get their penalties. Keimani will finish a record second position. Could it have been a P1? We don't know. We do not know. But for P3, that is your champion. What a way. What a race. P3 from last to third. He has been through everything. But he's done it. Daniel Santos, champion of the world. Huber, first race win. And that's going to do it for Porsche Supercup. Let's give him his moment there. Well, he doesn't win today for this race, but Daniel Santos went in to the race today knowing about 2 hours before that his championship rival would not make the show. And by default, he took the title. Is it a fight he would have preferred? Probably not. But is it redemption for a similar fate that happened to him back at the GT World Challenge? It's what he needed. It's the similar fate that's scrubbed off one driver and has taken it to this one here. Daniel Santos, the Portuguese driver, will take his third championship. The last time he won it was in December 2025 for the Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Champion. And let's get some donuts here. Celebration. No, turn off the traction control, and he does so. World champion! Daniel Santos. Light up the Michelins. You deserved it. All right, that is going to do it there for Porsche Supercup. I'll give you credit, though. First safety car, that was incredible racing. Second one, what second safety car? I don't know what you're talking about. Let's talk about it. What a fantastic bit of action there to the very end. Very exciting, very messy. That will be reviewed after. But let's go to our top three. And the driver who finished P1 has made history. It's a new race winner in CMRSC. And we talk to him now. Hubert, P1, second attempt, and you got it done. You take victory lane here. How does that feel? Hubert, do we have a word on you? Don't hear you in the voice.
Hello?
Yes,
Is it better now?
you're good now. You're good now.
Okay, perfect.
P1 victory in your second race attempt. I can tell you from 5 years of doing this, barely anybody can say that they've gotten it done on their second attempt. And you've just proved it, and you've done it here today. And it wasn't no fluke. You were able to prove it all week long and in qualifying, and now you come out on top. Take us through that race. How was that one for you?
Yeah, it obviously started pretty well, especially the battle with Max. Max, I wholeheartedly believe he drove the better race this time. But obviously, pit strategy happened. I was able to get out on top. I saw some things happen there, you know. I made a stupid mistake on my first stint, but that's it happens. It comes with racing, you know. And yeah, I just had to bring it home. I just had to defend. and then just let the pace do the talking, you know.
Pace did the talking indeed, and from that second restart, you were able to just open up that gap and send it home to the very end. Your very first race win here. I hope the first of many. I'll give you the floor here. Is there anybody you'd like to shout out?
Yeah, definitely Max and Danny and Eamon. Danny and Eamon definitely helped me out in this adventure, which yeah, big shout out to them. They explained to me how everything works. They helped me with setups. So yeah, it doesn't, you know, I didn't do it all myself, you know, they helped out a lot, so it wouldn't have happened without them, obviously.
You've been a maestro here in this Super Cup series. I bet if we have seen you at the very beginning, you could have been somebody to watch out for this title. As you mentioned, there's Santos, they're also the champion. But now as we head out of the Porsche Supercup and we head to Formula 4, it's definitely a different taste of different types of racing you're going to get. So will we potentially see you for that one in 2 weeks' time?
I'll definitely try to show up. I don't know if I'll be competitive. It's definitely not my forte, but you know, I'll try my best. We'll see. I don't know how everyone else is doing in their force, obviously, so we'll have to see.
How about as we head to next week at the Nürburgring?
I think I'll be there, yeah. Should be fine.
Can't wait for it, and hopefully we can see you at the top once again. Congratulations. Your first P1 here in CMRSC.
Yep, thank you.
Now we head down the order to our second place finisher. And a great P2 finish here for Keimani. You got it done here. P2, a valiant effort as well. And I hope the team is very happy with your performance as well. How was that one for you?
Definitely pretty stressful. I think at the beginning, I was just planning on sitting in P3 because, I mean, Maximilian and Hubert, I mean, rapid. I saw their times. I was just going to sit in P3. Then I messed up the first safety car. That was pretty bad. I should have pitted when it first came out, but I didn't, so that was something. And then after the second safety car, I mean, I just got lucky. I was right behind Hubert. I was hoping I could overtake him, but there was too much fuel, so just came home in P2, and I mean, no complaints from me.
I will say, unfortunately, AC has lined you up in front of Lewis Hamilton's pit box, and of course we know what happened to Ferrari at this circuit not too long ago, so I think the pit stop is not your fault. I don't think I can blame you on that, but a very valiant P2 result there, and yes, the battle we saw you down the order for this race was absolutely incredible. First time on the podium here, Keimani. Any shout-outs you'd like to make?
Just to my team, especially Mike, helped me a lot with the setups. Oleg, you know, he gave me the, you know, he's fast, so he gave me the inspiration to push harder, and so yeah, just want to shout out my team.
Awesome stuff here. Same questions. Now, in the next 2 weeks, we're going to be racing two different types of cars. Next week out, we head at the Nürburgring. I'll ask you that first. Is there a potential chance we could see yourself and the entire team take on the Nürburgring?
There's definitely a chance. I mean, for sure, we did good here. We want to do good in every CMRC race, so definitely a big chance.
And of course, the big one, Formula 4, that's going to be the one a lot of people are going to have their eyes on, even some that you may have never even seen race on circuit because they're just more, they're better off in an open wheel car. Will we see yourself in there as well?
That one, I mean, still deciding. I'm going to be honest, this year was supposed to be my year stepping away from open wheelers, but I mean, I had so much fun in this championship that, you know, how can I not consider the next CMRC one?
Yeah, absolutely. Congratulations, a fantastic result, and hopefully we can see another video doc from this race as well.
Of course, I'll get working on it as soon as I can.
Can't wait for it. Congratulations, P2 for you.
Thank you.
And last, but certainly not least, we talked to our man who finishes P3. And not just a third position, but at the number 3 to the championship count. Daniel Santos is a 3-time Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club champion. 3 times here, but this race was anything but what you'd expect, that's for sure. You still finished from last to third, that's one thing, but you're a champion here, and I think this was the redemption from the GT World Challenge. Take it away, Daniel. How was that?
I mean, yeah, it was more entertaining than usual, I guess you could say, starting from last. Start was pretty chaotic. I made up like 5 positions right away. Some contact here and there with some people. At one point I was right behind Hubert on the second safety car, and then I just got swarmed by so many people. Went back up to basically where I started. Came back, did some great moves, I'd say, that I'm sure you're gonna cut them on and turn into shorts. But yeah, no, funny little race. Want to shout out my team: Damon, Lacey, Max, Hubert, of course. My friends watching and everyone watching on my streams. Thank you all, and yeah.
Fair enough here. Well said. I know the rumor mill has been swirling around that Formula 4 is definitely something you might take a back seat on. However, I know you did look at your pace and you did see that maybe there could be a chance you could be somewhat competitive. I know open wheel's not your forte, so is next week the last time we're going to be seeing you for a while, or is there the slight chance we see you in Formula 4?
I'll think about it, but I think it's time for me to take a small break, even with this endurance coming up. As much as the car seems fun to drive, and I did try it out a little bit, I think it's better for me to just take a small break, and yeah, just enjoy the show from the sidelines.
Well said there, and I think everyone may have a sigh of relief knowing that you might take a break so they can have a chance at winning. But yeah, it will be very fun with the reels. Thank you for the views, and yeah, we'll hope to see you very soon, man. Congratulations, 3rd World Championship for you.
Thank you.
That's done and dusted there. That is Porsche Supercup done. Again, thank you everyone for all the support we had. It was an amazing showcase here for this one. We'll have the review in the lounge chat if you do want to come through, and we'll just talk about that race briefly. We're going to switch gears though, because next week it's the 3rd round of the Endurance Cup. It'll be at the Nürburgring. The session will be up right away. Get signed up if you haven't already. And then after that, it's 4 weeks of Formula 4. We have Miami, Montreal, Turkey, and Silverstone to get through. Then it's 5 weeks straight, because if you love GT, you're probably going to take a break from open wheel. You want to get right back in going for the final 2 races of the Endurance Cup, and it's the 3 big finale races where we are having merch out for the winner of the GT saga, essentially. The entirety of all the GT3 stuff we've done for this year, it'll all come down at the climax for the GT Finals series. That information will be out around the time we get to round 3 of the Nürburgring race. As for now, though, we'll see you hopefully next week, and hopefully for Formula 4. Thank you for an amazing Porsche Super Cup, and if we want to meet at the lounge, I'll meet you then. Thank you for an amazing championship. We hope to see you very soon. That's going to do it for an incredible one out here today. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being a part of this fantastic championship, watching us. And if you were a driver in the past from this one, well, we still thank you nonetheless for giving us your time of day to being a part of. What an incredible bit of racing that truly is. There's definitely their ups and downs, a lot of crashes, a lot of carnage, but it was still very fun to see that Super Cups are one of the go-to series, and I don't know if we may see them again this year. I know Race of Champions has come to an end, so we're not going to see these cars for one more time. We may have to wait next year, but I can assure you, with a lot of action coming up, including GT4s, we have multi-class racing where that rumor of hypercars may be coming true very, very soon. Lots of fun stuff to come up for, but as you've heard, next week it is the Nürburgring. Now, it's not the Nordschleife layout, as a lot of people did expect. We did decide to go for the GP layout, just for the sake of, we want a bit of closer racing, and the fact that our skill level, we want people a little more closer on track, and Nürburgring would be just a little bit too difficult, even at 90 minutes. Hopefully you can forgive us, and we hope to give you a great showcase. That's in 7 days' time, and in a fortnight's time, it's the beginning of the 38th official CMRSC Championship, and that is going to be Formula 4. If you haven't heard the trailer yet, I'll show it off now, but thank you so much for checking out this incredible championship. We will see you next week for Enduro, and in 2 weeks for this championship right here. Take care.